Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. The price appears frozen, obviously the price broke above that descending trend line. That's often an indication that something at least is changing or might be changing. So we can keep an open mind towards maybe rising prices or maybe at least a larger corrective rally like this. For example, an ABC structure could play out here. There are plenty of different wave counts and combinations possible here. Why? Well, because there's no indication, or let's say there's no confirmation that this overall correction that started end of December is over. And when there's no confirmation that the correction is over, it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. I can tell you that, well, maybe this fourth wave here, so the third wave topped around the 25th of December, that this fourth wave might unfold as a triangle, A, B, C, D, E. Do I have any evidence for that? No, but I'm watching the same potential on the Bitcoin chart potentially, yeah, potential. That's one idea I have, but there's no evidence, so it doesn't make any sense to focus on it. Another idea I have is that, yep, WXY pattern here, price bottomed indeed, but maybe it's only the A wave of a larger ABC structure. Then here this could form an A, B, C in a B, and then we come down later in a C wave, 5 waves. And then the wave 4 is all of this. That's possible. Okay. It's also possible that it breaks down straight away. Then it would still be the yellow count, which is basically A wave, B wave, and the C wave down. And then we have 5 waves down in C, 1, 2, 3. It would just be a massive wave 4. I don't believe that anymore, but still possible. Yeah. So bottom line is there are plenty of combinations and opportunities and possibilities really for wave counts and structures within a correction. We know that. Yeah. It's not about that. It's not about nailing the micro count in a correction, which always changes anyway, because that's just what they do in corrections. It's about identifying support. The support levels we did identify, they have been well known basically, yeah, since end of December, with the first main one here at 79.34. So the price did react to it, showed a substantial rally. But so the main question is always in these corrections, does the price hold the 50% retracement level if we're in a fourth wave? And if not, then this chart will become a bit of a mess. Until then, we are still watching for higher prices towards $190 plus. Okay, but that's one question. So can basically that support level hold? And the next question, which matters, is can we see an impulse to the upside at any point before breaking below that 50% retracement level? And I need to see that impulse, because only with an impulse and a corrective pullback I can confirm that a low is in. Now, the impulse has, or at least the diagonal, I need to see some kind of a 5-wave pattern. And until I have a 5-wave pattern, these corrections can easily extend. Okay, so what are the requirements for an impulse? Yeah, or a 5-wave move at least. Well, I mentioned that in the last updates. So first of all, the white structure shows us what the market would need to give us for a 5-wave pattern. So I can see a potential wave 1 that started on Tuesday the 23rd, finished here on Thursday the 25th. I can see a wave 2. That's not large enough for a reliable 5-wave pattern. So that might be a small one too. Then the third wave to the upside could still be unfolding, right? It did reach, let me just make sure I've got these fibs accurately. Yeah, I mean, it didn't even reach, it missed slightly the 1.236 extension. So because it hasn't even touched it, honestly, I don't really want to call that the third wave top already. So I'd rather say to give us a third wave, it needs to reach minimally the 1.236 extension. That's the $99.70 level. I mean, maybe it had, maybe, I mean, we talk about, not even well, what is a few cents here, but still, okay, we have to have our standards. So I cannot confirm yet that this is a third wave. Might get one more high in a third, then a fourth and a fifth. And I mentioned that these 5 waves need to get to at least $104.69. So I want to see the market provide a 5-wave pattern to $104.69 at the very least. That's a 5-wave move. That's a requirement that I need to see right now to confirm first confirmation. There are different layers of confirmation, but to confirm that the low has formed, okay? So obviously it's not about, you know, trading confirmations. I post that a lot on Twitter, try to, you know, help people understand how, you know, how to understand technical analysis in general, because you can really, I mean, you can confirm sometimes patterns very late in the process. But the key is not to trade the counts or to wait for confirmation to make a trade. The main benefit of Elliott Wave is that it gives you key support levels, the invalidation points, the pivots, okay? And the first main level to watch was the $79.30 level. And it reacted nicely from there. So I mentioned before, tactically speaking, if anybody found an entry point there, then it might be wise to maybe just, because of that risk that still exists of another low, it might be wise to move up the stop loss at least to break even and take the risk out. Because at the moment I don't see a clear setup. So it's waiting for 5 waves up to show. Then we have a setup, because then the upcoming 3-wave pullback would provide the next trade setup on the long side potentially. Or a dip back into support would obviously allow for scaling in again. That's sort of how I see the market right now. Don't think this pattern demands any action, because there's no reliable setup right now. After well, there was a setup here, obviously, you know, price touching the 79.30 level. That's why it's there on the chart. But up there isn't anything. It's now wait and see, yeah, to see what the market does. And if we see the 5-wave pattern form, we can call that potentially a wave 1, and a pullback would be a wave 2. You can add a support zone to the chart, and that might be the next pullback trade setup. That's my update about Solana. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.